Hey everyone, so I'm here in Gongguan at my favorite tea shop. Every time I'm in Taipei, I usually come here to buy whole leaf oolong tea. It's like a high mountain tea. It's what's considered higher grade tea, so it's not your everyday run-of-the-mill. This is like a specialty tea shop, grown in the high mountain, hand processed, all the good stuff. So we're here today, we're gonna do some tasting and I'm gonna buy some. So here we go. So usually when you come into these specialty tea shops in Taipei, they're pretty much everywhere, but you want to look for the ones that source the tea from Taiwan 100%, so it's not mixed with any foreign tea or things like that. So you want the 100% Taiwanese oolong tea. That's going to be the good stuff. And usually you would go ahead and try the tea, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to taste a couple of teas today and then we're going to decide which one we want. So it's a pretty simple process. So he's got the tea leaves out for me here, and then we also have 2 cups. So the taller one is for the aroma, so you would smell it first, and then the smaller cup, which is your standard teacup, is for tasting. So most of his teas are from Nantou County, which is the tea growing area in Taiwan. It's a very mountainous region. So we have this one today. It's from a specific mountain. I don't know the English name, but there you go. So these little tea balls are made from a combination of, usually you want 3 leaves per ball, so they're rolled up in a ball and they're dried. So when you brew them, they open up. Okay, so I just got an English translation of this tea. It's Jade Mountain. It's one of the highest mountains in Taiwan. So this is Jade Mountain oolong tea. And when you buy tea in Taiwan, you buy it per jing or per kilo, but it's not actually a kilo, it's 600 grams. So this stuff is priced out about, I want to say it's close to $70, something like that. It's 2400 NT, so this is very high grade stuff. This is going to be really good. I'm excited. All right, so he's boiling the water, and then he's going to go ahead and warm up the teapot itself, and then pour the hot water out. And once the teapot is hot, then they'll go ahead and transfer the leaves in, and we'll do a first steeping. So high grade oolong tea, you can steep or brew it several times, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So yeah, and the flavor will change with every brew, and that's the benefit of having the actual teapot, is that you can go on a journey of flavors, whereas if you just dump all the tea into a mug, you're not really going to get that. So this specific tea is a Jade Mountain tea. It's a spring tea. So Taiwanese oolong is split into spring and winter harvest. So generally spring is, you know, March, April, May, and they start from the bottom of the mountain and they harvest higher in altitude. And then winter tea is generally, you know, October, November, and they harvest from the top of the mountain down. And the teas have a very distinct different taste. So if you get a spring tea and a winter tea, they're going to taste completely different. I like spring tea a little more because it has like a very flowery, and you know, if you think spring, that's kind of the flavor in the tea itself. Yeah. Alright, so we went ahead and poured the tea from the snifter. Yeah, this is amazing. There's like a sweet milk smell to it. They would call it 奶香. Yeah, it's like a nice, so it's like a sweet milk smell. So first the tea goes in here and then they pour it into the cup, and then you can smell the empty cup. It has an aroma. Yeah. Alright, so this is the first one. That's hard to describe, but it's good. Yeah, a little grassy, has like a green taste, like a very good quality tea. The first brew is usually not as strong as the second, so we'll get the full flavor in the second. Second round has even more milk smell. Look at the color on this. It's very nice. Take
kind of guy who chill while others hurry. I didn't know that I've been the fool. I've been telling lies about something real, but I know love is based on honesty. Kept thinking how real love should feel, knowing that it's not just you, it's me, 'cause I was made to be free.
This is the fourth one. He's brewing the fifth right now, so it just kind of keeps going. So I tend to prefer a low fermentation type of oolong tea. So the longer you ferment the tea, the color will start to change from green into kind of like a black tea almost. And they also will bake the tea here as well. So you can get a lot of different flavor combinations through different levels of fermentation and different duration of baking as well. So this actually is a very, very low fermented tea, and it doesn't have any bake time from what I can tell. So it's just very clean, which is what I prefer.
Been thinking about myself and myself only. I've been like that since I was a kid. I've always put my feet wherever I want to. Before I saw who I could be, kept thinking, where did I go wrong? Then realizing where I do.
So we just took the tea leaves out of the pot, and yeah, this is a whole leaf. So each ball usually consists of 3 of them. So there you go. So this would be one of those tiny little dried balls opened up. So it's got 3 leaves on it. This is a sign of a quality tea. Also, the leaf itself is actually quite strong, so I'm trying to break it apart right now. And it doesn't want to go. So that's also a sign. So the leaf, you want it smooth, so like kind of like a velvety feeling. And then you want it to be quite strong, so it's really difficult to break apart. And yeah, so that's how you tell after the brew if it's a quality Taiwanese oolong or not. He just said that if it's like a baby skin, then that's a sign of a good quality leaf.
That's my choice, what I need to be free. Still thinking how real love should feel, when I know that it's not about you, just me.
So that was the Jade Mountain Oolong, and now we're gonna do a Deer Valley Oolong. They're both from the Nantou region, so this will be the next one. So this is 2,000 NT per kilo or per 600 grams, so this is a lower grade tea. So that's kind of how they're priced, you know. The more you pay, the better it's gonna be. So generally the rule of thumb if you have a little teapot is to put the tea leaves when they're dried just so they cover the bottom, so like 1 layer of tea leaves. That's like your eyesight measurement. Whoa. So this Deer Valley Oolong is just, the flavor profile is completely different. This one is fermented a little higher, so it really changes the flavor profile. So this one clocks in about 2,000 NT for 600 grams. So that's about $70. The one before this, the Jade Mountain, was about 2,400 NT. That's about $83. The next one we're gonna try is 3,600 NT, and that clocks in almost $125 for 600 grams. They measure tea in the 600 gram increment, so this is about 300 grams. So 2 of these is about 600 grams, and that's, you know, the pricing I'm mentioning. You can buy less or you can buy more. You don't necessarily have to buy 600 grams, but that's kind of how they price it. So the color of the Deer Valley is a little darker because it's been fermented a little more. It's about 30% fermented. So black tea is generally 90% and up. Yeah, you can kind of get an idea of where the taste profile, you know, will change. It's kind of crazy when you think about how the tea is grown at different elevations on the mountain. So every mountain face, every mountain, you know, different elevation points will have different methods of processing the tea. You know, like the tea masters know, you know, this one from this height, from that mountain should be fermented this percent or this amount of time. So it's really an art. You can see that this is not fermented, and this is fermented, and the color of the tea leaf will actually change. It's kind of crazy, huh? Alright, so next we have an ultra high grade Sanlingxi, which roughly translates into like mountain, forest, river, kind of something like that. But I'm super excited for this. This is a very high price point, and I like Sanlingxi quite a lot. I buy it pretty often. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 800-pound gorilla. Let's see what we got here. So this is very high grade. It's got a really, really deep milk smell. 奶香. You can totally tell the price jump from the 2400 up to 3600. It's like a different product almost. Wow, yeah. And this is the first brew, and I would say the flavor is just, yeah, this is mind-blowing. The other ones are good. I mean, they're a lot better than whatever you're gonna find stateside or in the grocery store or anything like that, but this is like next level. This is a work of art.
Like fall in love.
It's like fall in love. Yeah, this is like falling in love. There's emotions behind this tea. It's really good. Wow. Usually when you start moving into that 3000 NT, 2800 NT price point and up, you know, you're in that $100 range. That's when you get that really, 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 really good tea. Different teas will have a different, they call it kogan. So it's like mouthfeel. So some of them will be a little, it'll make your mouth very slick. Some of them will make your mouth very dry. Some of them will linger, and then the flavor will come back later. So it's a very interesting palate feel depending on where you are in the price points. But generally, the higher you go, the more amazing it's gonna be. So this one is definitely making me happy. We got second round now. So these higher grade oolongs are gonna have that signature milk aroma, but they also have a very flower or a fruit aroma as well. It just starts to get really complex. Oh my god. I have to buy this. So this high-grade Sanlingxi is pretty amazing. I mean, even after you're done drinking it, the flavor just keeps coming back, and you have this aroma in your mouth, and it actually makes you salivate. It's pretty nuts that, you know, this is a plant, right? I mean, once you start getting into this range of tea, you know, it's just amazing. So as you drink it, I mean, you just keep, your mouthfeel is very unique. Yeah, wow. Almost like you have something in your mouth. It's nuts. I'm just waiting for Anita to get here, and then we're gonna do a Lisan, which is a pear mountain oolong. So today we are basically sticking with very low fermented green teas, which is what I prefer. So when you come into shops like this, you could just let them know what type of flavor profile, or maybe try to interact a little bit. Sometimes they speak a lot of English, sometimes they just speak enough, but there's so many different varieties and processes when it comes to Taiwan oolong tea that, I mean, it's near endless. You know, say you like black tea more, you know, they can match that flavor profile. Say you like, you know, this very, you know, smoky oven-baked kind of tea, they can do that as well. So maybe you like a very light green tea, very complex but light green tea, which is what I like, and they got that as well. Hey! Alright, so we're just finishing up the Pear Mountain, which clocks in at about 4000 NT. Yeah, this is quite a famous tea from Taiwan. It's called Lisan. Probably get a little of this too. It's nice. It almost has like an umami feel across your tongue. Like when you first sip it, it just makes you happy. Finally, we're actually gonna do, I was talking about it earlier, it's a charcoal baked oolong tea. So this is very, very unique. I bought this maybe 3-4 years back. I haven't bought it since, but yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of that. I'll probably get some of that for contrast as well, because the teas that we've had today are very light, very low fermented kind of style tea. This is an older style. One would call it an ancient method, because, you know, there's no machines being used. They actually use real charcoal to roast the tea, and the last time I had it, it was a very smoky flavor, so we'll see what it's like this time around. You see the color on that? Wow. Holy crap. Almost has like a whiskey liqueur to it. It's really amazing. Oh, it still has some of that milk aroma as well. Sweet. Wow. The smell is amazing. Whoa. This has got some serious flavor on it. Oh my god. Oh, it tastes just like it smells too. Yeah, this clocks in about 4,000 per 600 grams as well. So this is one of the more expensive teas that we tried today. And wow. It has like a charred wood liqueur almost, like whiskey. It's insane. This is the second brew, so it should be even more flavorful. Oh man, yeah. What do you think?
It's really special. I love this one.
Yeah.
It's so flavorful.
I mean, the flavor is like overwhelming. It's so good. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely picking that up today for sure. Yeah, so we went with 300 grams of the Sanlingxi, and then we have 150 grams of the Lisan, and then 150 grams of the charcoal, that traditional charcoal roasted one as well. I think I got a pretty good variety. The winter tea is gonna come out in about 5 or 6 weeks, so I didn't want to get too much because we'll come back again for the winter harvest and try a bunch of tea as well and pick up some more. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, gave you an interesting walkthrough of everything. The first time I had this experience was really interesting, so I wanted to share it with everyone and hopefully you feel the same. So I'll see you in the next video.